This is something that I wish every single toddler parent understood because it would make disciplining tricky behaviors so much easier. So let me tell you a story. When I had my first two kids, my oldest was around 3 and then I had a baby, and she went through a rough patch. She had a really hard time with that transition. She was pretty rough with the baby. She was always kind of pushing him over, bouncing his bouncer too hard. But here's the thing that I want you to understand. In a calm moment, he knew that pushing the baby, being rough with him was not okay. She knew that. Thing about how I actually got her to stop though, because we did not use timeout. I did not send her away by herself to think about her actions or learn that pushing brother was bad, because like I said, she already knew. So what was actually going on? In the moment, she did not have the emotional regulation skills and the impulse control to stop her physical reaction from her emotions. So what this means is, like, she was frustrated, she was jealous, she was angry, she was sad that the baby was getting the attention, and that came out through pushing him. Right? It was this physical instinct response for her because she was dysregulated. And I see a lot of people say, like, well, sending kids to timeout works, right? They go to timeout and they think about their actions, and then they don't do that anymore. That doesn't actually work, because when you're sending your child to timeout for pushing or hitting or doing some sort of bad behavior, they're dysregulated. They're not learning. She already knew in a calm moment that those were not okay things to do. The issue she had was actually regulating her emotions, which is developmentally appropriate for a toddler. So instead of sending her to timeout, we practiced regulating her emotions. We practiced doing other things with her body that could help get her frustration, anger, sadness out, like hitting a pillow, jumping onto a splat pad, doing power hands with me, like having her push against my hand to get that physical sensation out and regulate her body in an appropriate way. That's what actually stopped the hitting, right? Within weeks, you guys, when I started regularly doing those things, giving her different ways to regulate her sadness, anger, frustration, that's when it actually stopped. Because I was actually getting to the issue. This whole thought process of, like, if you put your toddler in timeout, they're going to calm down and they're going to think about it and they're going to know not to do that again. It doesn't make sense with a toddler's brain development. And if you've tried that method, I'm not shaming you. I just want you to understand what's actually going on in your toddler's brain and actually give you a way easier roadmap of managing these tricky behaviors in a way that's actually, like, long-term going to help and last, make your life easier as a parent. Because if you instead focus on, like, what's actually going on, what do they actually need to learn? In my toddler tantrums guide, this is like 75% of that guide is this portion, which I call prep. If you want to know how to do this with your little one, you can put tantrum down below and I'll send you a message. But that's what actually made a difference in her behavior, because that's what was actually going on underneath.